In this video, we'll be talking about CSS buttons. Okay, to start with, we'll create our HTML structure. Then inside our body, we'll create a button element, Inside this our button element, we'll write the text inside. Let's say button 1. Let me use block uppercase letter. Let me say button 1, button 1. Okay. Let me refresh the page and see what happens. Okay, you can see that. Okay, so I want to add I want to create let's say something like 5 buttons. Okay, let me duplicate it. Before I duplicate it, I would like to give it class because I'll be styling it inside CSS. Okay, so and I will also show you how to uh, um, do animation even when your mouse hover over the button, it will glow, eyeshadow and others. I will do all those things in this video. Okay, so let me add class because I'll be styling each of them. I'll give each of them unique designs, so I have to give them a class, a unique class, different class name. So let me use say class. Let me use lowercase class class. Okay, inside this class, let me use the name button one button one. Okay, this is for the class name for the first button. So I will now duplicate this into 5 and then change the button numbers, okay, to make the classes unique. Okay, so to duplicate that, use shift at down arrow key 1 2 3, okay, 4 5. Okay, it's now 5 now. 1 2 3 5 now. You can see the output in our browser. Okay, let me change this to 2, then change this one to 3, then this one to 4, then this one to 5. Okay, supposed to not, yeah, the classes, I've changed the classes. Then I have to change the content, the one that will display in the screen. So let me also change those ones. Let me give this one 2, then this one 3, this one 4, and this one 5. I think it's okay now. Yeah, it's complete now. Okay, so this is all I have to do inside my index.html, nothing else. So every other thing will be inside CSS designing. Okay, let me bring this screen close to this side. Okay, so I have enough space inside my CSS. Okay, so inside the CSS, what I'll do first, since we have more than one button, I'll give I'll use button button elements, kind of using element selector, which is the name button, and give all of them a general property and the value that I want. Then I will now use the class to give each of them their own unique design. So let me write button. Let me use button element, button, open the block declaration. Inside I will now use and let me make a border so there will not be much border. Let me just declare these things as default border. Let me set it to none. Okay, then let me say padding because I want all of them to look the same. Let me say padding. Let me give padding. Let me say 20, or let's say 10 by 10 pixel by 10 pixels, 10 pixels by 20 pixels. Let me see how it looks like. And we're supposed to link. The reason why you're not seeing it here in our browser is because I've not linked the CSS file. I have to link it to my I have to link it to the HTML file. So I will now put in below the title elements, type in link. Inside link, then locate where your folder is, your CSS file is. So my own is inside CSS folder. So inside the CSS folder, this is my file, style.css. That is the file name for this CSS. Okay, so I click enter. Okay, as you can see now, as you can see, the CSS is now connected to HTML, so it's now rendered in the browser, and you can see the effect of the padding. Okay, so let me see what I can do now. I want to, okay, I think let me increase it small. Okay, let me leave it like this. I think I have enough space in the CSS. So inside this button now, I think this button looks okay, but let me make it 15. Let me do 15 and see what it, no, not 50, sorry. I want 15. Let me say 15 pixels and see what it looks like. Okay, I think this way looks a bit nice. Okay, there's one thing I want to also do. I want the buttons to have auto margin so they will line up in the center here. So the way, because the way is lining up in columns and rows is not, I don't really like it. It will not really give me what I want. So let me line the button straight. Let me line it in the center here. So to do that, you can use break, but the break and all this thing will not, it is stressful. The break will just list it by the left here, but I want used to use margin, so the margin will list it in the center. So to do that, I will say margin. I will use say margin auto. So all of them be listed in the center. Suppose what is happening to this? What is happening? The margin is supposed to be auto. Margin is supposed to list all of them in the center. What is happening? How about margin 0? What is that gonna do? Let me leave this. Let me see whether I can do it manually. Suppose this thing is supposed to work. Why is it not working? Think. Why is it not working now? Okay, how can I find the solution? What is the issue now? What's the issue now? Thought that if I use auto, it's supposed to centralize all of them. But with what I'm seeing, I think it's not working. What is the best way to do this? Think. Okay, let me do something like this now. Okay. First of all, let me use HTML elements and use breakline to align them first. Then I'll see whether the author works. If the author does not work, I'll use another alternative and get it done. Okay, so under this button, let me use BR. Under this BR to break the line. Okay, so all of them will align this place because I want to shift them to the center. When I shift them to the center, we now give space. They will have space between each other. There will be space between them. Okay, so inside this number two, let me inside this button two, let me add another break line so the three will come under it. Okay, then under three, I will put break, so four will come under it, break. Um, then under four, let me put BR break so that five will come under it. Okay, so we have now aligned the buttons this place and they're all connected. There's no space between them. So let me put alt and see whether it will work. But I really don't, since it does not work the other way, I don't think it will work in this one. It's not working. Okay. Here's another alternative I'll use now. Let me use margin top. If I use margin top, let me see how it works. Margin top is supposed to do it, but it will just take me a whole lot of space here. Let me say margin top, margin top. Let me give it let me say 20 pixels and see what it gives me. 20 pixels. Perfect. So this is what I'll use. I will use this strategy to do it. I want the button to be centralized here, and then there'll be this space between them. I will also add more space in between them. So let me increase the space in between them to let me say 30 pixels and see how it looks like. Looks okay, but I want to make it, let me see, 40 more, but let me say 50 okay? More better. Okay, now what I will now do for me to push it to the center, I will also do margin to take me a whole just a little bit time. Let me say margin left. So margin left, let me say 50 pixel. Okay, it's pushing it. Then 50 is not enough. Let me make it 70 pixel. Not yet. Then let me do 140 pixel once. 140 pixel. See what? No, not 4000. 140. Remain small to be centralized. Let me make it 150. Not that okay. Not that yet. Not yet in the center. Let me do 160 pixels. Not yet. Let me, because if I zoom it in, this I will not use this one because I'm not using full screen. So I'll make use of this screen. So I'll just push it a little bit. Okay, so let me say 180 pixels. Okay, I think it's now in center. Let me make 185 so it will balance well in the center. Let me say 185. Perfect. It's now in center. Okay, this is exactly what I want. So let me increase the top margin so it will give a little bit. Let me just make the top margin to be, let me say 60 pixels. Okay, I think this is very okay and very perfect for what I want to do. Okay, so the next thing I want to do now is uh should I add font size to it? Font size, does it really matter? This font size will only affect the text inside. Let me just add it. Let me just add it for all of them because I will not be doing all these things when I start targeting the classes. So let me just do it. Let me just give the button element everything that I need. Then when I'm targeting the classes, I'll just make sure I'm giving them few unique properties. Let me say 1 EM. Let me see how it looks like. Okay. I think I'm okay with this one, but it's too big. I don't want it to be too big. Let me make it 0.6 to be more better. Oh, it's too small. It's too small. How about 0.8? I think this one it makes sense. It seems that there's no more change, but I think it's okay. Okay. Now, what else should I do now? I don't really need any much thing here. I think I've gotten all I need here. All I need is gotten here. The color, I will give the color to the class. I'll use class to target the colors. No need of adding the colors here. Okay. So now let's use the class. I've given the whole button the the properties and value that I need to give all of them. All of them will inherit this button value which we have seen here. So now let's give them a unique one. So let me say to start a class to start a class, just use dot class name. The class name we have here is we have used button numbers, which is button 1 to 5. So let's start with button 1. Button 1. This is our first class, which is this first button here. This button 1. And see the names. Here is where we give the name. Button 1, their class name. Okay, so let's open a block declaration. Shift not here. Shift it. Okay, block declaration. So inside this place now, let me give it back. Let me start by giving them background color. Let me say background color. Let me just give them let me use blue here. Okay, this blue really does it really look nice? Let me leave it that way. Then let me give let me give this text inside here a color. And I will use azure because I like azure, or I might use aqua. Okay, so let me say color, yeah, color aqua. Let me see how it looks like. It looks nice. I think I'll use this aqua. How about azure? How will azure look like? How will this azure look like? Azure, I think azure, yeah, how will it look like? It's almost something as white. Let me use aqua. Let me use aqua color. I like that color for some places. Aqua. Okay, I think I like the aqua looks nice. Okay, I want to give this box a shadow. Let me give it a shadow. I want to give it a shadow so it looks more, so I'll use a box shadow. Let me say box shadow. Okay, let me by default, let me say not don't come down, it's supposed to be inside. Yeah, say 1 pixel space one. This thing are just parameters for the shadow. These parameters will determine how the shadow will look like. Okay, let me say 1 pixel. I just want to use one pixel flat. Then when I start adding value, I will be checking when it's reached what I need. I will leave it like that. So um Let me also add another one. Let's say 1 pixel space 1 pixel. Okay. So inside this 1 pixel, you can if you're looking at the button, not the button. If you're looking at the button, you will see a little bit of shadow around it. So let me give the shadow color. Let me say black. Let me see how black will look like. Black. You can see the shadow here. You can see the shadow in the screen. Okay, let me make it. Let me increase this center one. Let me say 222. Let me see how it will look like. 222. Okay, I think the shadow is becoming more visible now. Two pixels. Let me also give this one to say 2. Okay, I think the shadow is very visible now. So I think I have gotten what I want with the button 1. Okay, so we'll do button 2, 3, and 4. So the 2, 3, and 4 and 5. We don't need to retype this thing. This thing is taking time. What we have to do, we have to duplicate it, as in, yeah, duplicate it. So we duplicate it up to remaining 4. We duplicate it up to 4 times. Then we now change the values, change the class name, so it will take effect on the buttons. So to do that, just highlight the whole. Make sure you include the button. Make sure you include the button. Okay, let me highlight it. By highlighting it, to duplicate it, use shift at down arrow key. Okay, we still need extra um more 2. 1, 2. Okay, so we are done now. Okay, we are done now. Okay, so what I will now do now, or if at all self, to make my code more cleaner, because this thing is too big, let me give it to the button. Oh no, if I give this to a button, but I can, let me give shadow to the general. Let me give all of them the same shadow. If I give all of them the same shadow, I will give all of them, because all of them will inherit shadow, and all of them will inherit this button color, this inside color. Then the only color that will be different is the background color. Okay, so what I will now do now, I will come here inside this our button element. Let me give all of them the same thing. Then after I will remove the color and then remove the shadow box. What we already have here, we will have only background color. Okay, so I can change the background color of all of them. So let me just do something. Let me just screen all this one that I've written, all this one that I duplicated. Let me just wipe them. Wipe them off. Let me wipe them off. Okay, let me also wipe this one. We'll still do it, but not all the whole property will appear inside. We'll remove some. Okay, moving up. Oh, I did a very big mess. Let me return this. um I need only this one. Okay, this one now. What I will now do now, I will just copy this color and the shadow. Okay, control X, I'll cut it. So I will now put it inside the button element, so all of them can inherit it. Control V. So all of them are supposed to inherit it, but they will inherit the shadow and the button color, not the button color, the button text color. But all of them have different. I want to give all of them different background color. So now this is the best, to me this is the best practice, so that the code will look more cleaner, because if I have all this thing here, it will take more space. Okay, so let me use let me now duplicate this one now. So shift at down arrow key up to um more 1, 2, 3, 4 more 1. Okay, now I've gotten what I want, so I can now, let me change the color to, let me change this one to green. Let me change this one to green uh green. You will not see the color in the button too, because we have not yet given the class name. So we change the class name to 2. So we are now in this class, this 2. Okay, now you can see that 2. Then let's do the change the background color of the next one. Let's first of all let's change the whole of the class name. Let's change this one to 3, which is this one, the third one. Okay, let's change this one to 4. Then let's change this one to 5. the, the class name. So you can see they're highlighting it, but this is not what we want. We want to give them different background color. So I will now do this one red. Let me give this one red. Okay. So it will now be red. Then this one I want to give this one. Let me give it let me say let me give it which color again? I'm out of color now. Which one should I give it now? Let me say if I use brown, how will brown look like? Brown color. Brown and red. We have red already. Brown and red will look somehow in the eye. Let me use purple. I have not used no color here resemble purple. Let me use purple. So the color will be unique, will be very different. Then here now, which other color have I not used? Then I have not used yellow. Yeah, perfect. Then I will now use yellow. Okay, perfect. So the color is now okay. This yellow seems to be too dark. Let me replace this yellow. Let me put this yellow here after green. Then the red will come down. The red will come here. Then the yellow will be here. So let me make this one yellow. Let me make this one yellow. Okay, then this one now. Let me make this one red. Not red. Yeah, let me bring the red. Let me bring the red down. Okay, I think it looks the color combination makes a little bit sense. Okay, now that we have done that, we have given them color, given them background color and all that. So what we want to do, I want to add this thing called hovering. When the button hovers over the when the mouse hover over these buttons, it will either glow and it will add it will glow. Sometimes it will just glow. When it glow, it will add some property, change some properties as it's growing. Okay, let me do that. So what I have to do now is, first of all, I will use animation inside it. I want to add animation, so it will add, so it will not when you just bring it. Okay, let me do something so you understand what I'm saying. So under here, we use another sort of property, another sort of styling class pattern, which is we use let me start with number one. I'll give all of them the same hovering um, property, but I want to use one to illustrate it. So to do that, I will say dot dot button one, yeah, dot button one, then put colon, then say hover. Okay, then open your block declaration. Okay, so inside this one now, we want to target the button one and give it a hovering attribute. When we hover over it, what will happen, something like that. Okay, so let's start with this one. Once when we hover over it, this color will change to let's say black, or let's say white, or any color. So let's do that. Let's say background color. Let me say background color. Let me give it, okay, let me select from this color that I'm seeing here. I like this. Let me use let me just select from the list of color that I'm seeing here, the one that I might like. Yes, let me use that, something like dark gray, to make a little bit sense. Let me hover over and see what you see what I'm saying. You can see that once I bring the my pointer to it, to just change. Okay, so let me also add another thing to it. Let me also add, let me say if I use this color now, background color, and let me also add shadow, so that let me don't need to add any shadow. Actually, let me leave this shadow. Let me only just add, let me say color to the inside text, because this color now, when you hover over it, this color might not is not that visible. I want when you hover over it, let me add color that will match with what is it called, with gray. Okay, so let me add text color. Let me say color. Let me use red. Let me use red. I think red will match with gray. Let me see. Yes, it's very visible. Then let me see whether I can increase the, what's it called, the font size of the the text inside the button, so that it will be more visible. Let me say font size, font size. Let me give it let me say 1 em, but it would automatically increase the size of the button if I use this 1 em. I think so. but it will make the buttons very the letter inside the button more visible. Let's do that. You can see that the button text increased. You can see that. But what if I do something like let me say inside this font size, let me make it 2 em. Let me see what will happen. You can see it increased the button size. You can see that. You can see that automatically. So when you remove your button, it goes back to normal. Okay. Now, but I think this 2 em is too much. Let me make it 1.5. 1.5 is okay. Let me see. 1.5 makes sense. Okay. So now I want all of them to inherit this sort of I want all of them to inherit this grow, as in this kind of this button pattern, this hover. I want all of them to inherit this gray color when you hover over them and have the color LED color, and the color of the text will change to red, and then the font size of the color will be the font size of the color will be 1.5 em. Okay, so what I will now do, um all of them inheriting it, does it really make sense? Is it possible for all of them to inherit it? Let me do. Is it possible? Is it possible? I'm asking the question. Is it possible? Let me try it. If it does not work, I'll do it individually. Let me copy from here. I'm just trying to try it out. I want to try it out. Or let me just do something like this. Is it really possible? Is it really possible? Or should I do it individually? I think I should do it individually to save more time. Let me do it individually. Let me just duplicate it and then change the class um change the class uh name. Okay, let me say shift and then allocate up to more 4 times. 1 2 3 4. Okay, so we have to do inside the first one, we change this one to 2, so it is now inherited. If you bring your button here, all of them have this class have inherited it as well. 1 and 2 have inherited it, this one have not. Okay, let me just add the name of the classes as soon as possible. Then this thing, stop disturbing, stop interfering. This last one will be 5 and 5. Okay, then this one will be, oh my, this thing is interfering. I don't need this. Okay, we have done 5, done 1 and 2. Then we now do 3 and 4. Now do 3 and we now do 4. We now do 4. Okay, so if we hover on every of the in all the buttons 1 to 5, all of them will do the same thing. Can see that. Can see that this one does it. All of them. This one does it. This one does it. This one does it. This one does it. Okay, so all of them have inherited it. So, but my problem now is that it's good now. It's very okay. I think up to some extent is good, but if I bring the button close to it, it just does automatically, just change immediately. But I want it to add as a kind of, let me add some transformation to it. Let it do some sort of small animation before it bring this thing up. Let me see how that will work. Let me just give them the same. Let me put it here inside their. Let me give all the buttons and transformation once. So we use what is called web. That should be we use hyphen webkit. Webkit. You can see the wrist. We use webkit duration first. Webkit duration. Let's start with minimum of 1 seconds. Then under here, let's add transition. Say transition duration. Where is it? Here is it. Okay, transition duration. Let's also make it 1 second. Okay, let me 1s. No need of writing the full second. 1s. You can see what is happening. Okay, you can see if I refresh this now, you see what it's doing. It's no longer. Let me give space here. Okay, why is it giving me this sort of um line here? Why is it giving me this line? Why is it giving me this line? Whatever reason, you just know that you are working. Is there any reason why this line is here? Let me change this one to 2. Why is this line here? Let me change this to 2 and see. whether the line will still be there. Why is it showing me the line? Say define the length of the line, the time that we can take. Also define. Oh, it's all right. I've heard you. So let me just make this one. Let me say this one 2. I'm gonna do this one 1. Okay. I don't know why this thing is giving me underlined yellow something here. Let's just keep it. Once our code is working, we'll keep on going. Okay, so if we refresh our page now, okay, if we come here now, you can see how it glows. The thing did not glow. The thing did not just do sudden. Let me comment it, and you'll see the difference from the former one. If you bring the button now, you see how it very fast. See this one very fast, very fast, very fast, very fast. But if we uncomment this one now, look at the difference. Can you see the difference? See how it glows gradually, small, gradually. So we can just change the seconds. Change the animation seconds to 5 seconds, though it will take time. No, let me see how it. Okay, let me change this one also to. Let me set this one to 2 seconds. Okay, you can see it takes time, small time before it grows. What if I do it 5 seconds? 5 seconds. Okay, you can see what it's doing. If I bring it now, it's take a whole lot of time before. This one is too slow, it's too dull. This one is too dull, it's very dull, it's too dull, it's too dull, it's too dull, it's too dull. Let me reduce it to let's say 2.5, half of this speed. Let's see what will happen. 2.5 seconds. I think this one makes sense. It makes sense, but it's too dull. It's too dull. Let's make it 1.5. This one is too dull. Uh, no, not Jesus. This is not 21 seconds. We'll sleep here today. It's just what I want is 1.5 seconds, please. Okay, yeah, this is what I want. You can see this one is very, I think this one is better. This one is much more better. This one is much more better. So what if we want to alter the shadows in each of them? As this is the default shadow. Once when the shadow is when this button is growing, it will also add shadow to each side. So what I have to do, let me just come here to the let me use header one for example. Just add box shadow. Let me say box shadow. Not that's box shadow. But inside the box shadow, let's just use 1 pixel. Just set our default 1 pixel, 1 pixel, comma, and not space 1 pixel again, space 1 pixel, space 1 pixel. Okay, now we have done this. Let's see what will happen when we hover over this one. No, no. It's not here because it have altered the shadow here. This is not where I want it to be. I want it to be inside that hover because I want to use when it's only when when it starts uh, um transforming and doing the animation. It's only when it hovers. So that is when I want the shadow, this property that I'm adding now, to appear. So what I will now do, I will remove. It's not supposed to be inside this class. It's supposed to be inside that hover class. Let me cut it. Control X. Let me go down to button 1 hover here. Yeah, this is where I want it to be. So inside this place now, paste it here. Okay, so let me if I bring this one up, okay, the shadow is going, but let me add color to the shadow so that you will see the difference in the shadow. Let's say the shadow will be which color we are using now that will be more visible now. Let me say chocolate. Let me see how that chocolate color will look like. Chocolate color. I'll use this chocolate color for the glowing because we already have black here. So what I will now do, I will now increase this one to let's say 20, so it will be more visible. 20 pixel. This one, let me call just any random word. Once I see it, I will start adjusting it to what I might need. Then this one, let me just say this one is 4. Okay. So let's hover over the button 1 that we have added this property and see what will happen. You can see the shadow. Once it's growing with the shadow. As it's growing, the shadow surrounds it. Once you remove it, it go back to default. So you can give all of them this attribute and change their colors. Okay, this one now, let me say here now, Okay, I think the shadow is too much. Let me make it let me say 12. Let me see how it looks. I want something that looks nice. This one is still looks somehow obvious. Let me make it 8, not 8, 9, 8 rather. It looks a bit good, but because this thing is a gray, and we're using chocolate, and the red button, the color, the shadow does not make sense to me. Does not make sense to me. So what I will now do, let me change another color. Let me say I write which color will I use now that will make sense. Let me say let me use 00FF, which is aqua. Let me see what aqua will do. Let me put the ash, so it will be a hexadecimal. Let me see what will happen. Let me know whether it will be, is better. This one makes sense a bit. It makes sense. So it stands out actually, but it's not actually that. It's not giving me what I really want. Let me make this. Let me just leave it there. Make this one 3. Then this one 3, and leave the center one 4. See what happens. The reason why this thing is always doing it because we're on live server. Okay, any changes we are doing here, the page is refreshing, so that's why it's doing these things and inheriting the things and just be animating here. It's not this is not how you're supposed to. If you're not doing anything here, it will just remain stable this way. Okay, unless until you hover over it. Okay, so let me just copy this shadow box. Let me just cut it. I don't want to type it again for the sake of time. Let me cut it. Not cut, copy, because this one will inherit it. Inside the second button, let me put it there. Control V. Let me give the color for this one. Okay, let me use the color for this one. Let me say this one should be gray. Not, I can't use gray because gray is the default background when you hover over it. So let me give this one should I use, let me use something different. Let me use good mon. Okay, so for over the first one, I will be seeing that aqua. The second one will be giving me good mon. Yeah, okay. Then the last one now, the third one, not the last one. Let me also give it, paste this one. Let me also give it, let me see what happens here. Let me give this one let me say, let me just give it black. Or else if I say, okay, let me use any color at all. Let me just be going. Then the last one, the second to the last one, control V, um control V. Okay, control V. Let me give this color now. Let me say, if I remove, let me alter this F and see whether there's any if I put D here, does it present any color? No. So let me just give it let me use this green, yellow, something like that. Then the last one, control V. Let me give this one let me say, is there any color? Okay, let me just use this color. Okay, so I think I'm done now. So if we hover over the first one, we see aqua color. Second one, in the shadow, you see the shadow. Then the second one will give you this. Then the third one will give you, what do we add in the, we add a color called something bisque. So that's the color you are seeing here in the background. Then the fourth one we add green, yellow. Okay, see that. Then in the third one we add a hot pink. So we can do a lot and a lot and a lot and a lot with this. So but we are cutting the video here. Okay, so thank you for watching. See you in other videos.